Welcome back to another Double Dark video, and hopefully this one will not be 40 minutes long. So let's jump into it right away. This is Dark Pink, Dark Brown. If you've never played with those, Dark Brown are never clued by rank, so you can never actually disambiguate directly what brown cards are which, only through context. Dark Pink, as has been featured in this series a few times now. Remember, Dark Pink cards can be clued by any rank, so any rank clue to Piano Blue right now would touch this card. Let's do it. So Kimby starts with ones. Piper doesn't see any reason to rock the boat, do anything weird, so I am not getting chop moved. Kimby's hand is pretty exciting. We have a 2 on chop, most importantly, and then some yellows. So I decide, worst case we lose a 4. Probably not yet, but maybe we lose this. It would be pretty wild if Kimby discarded already. Sure enough, Kimby does have a nice thing to do to get this card. So this is 5-color ejection. Now this is known to be pink 5. Very handy. So these ones are a little awkward, right? But I do have a 3's clue to give. And Kimby follows up with yellow, which is pretty handy, because now I don't have to worry about this. Okay, so now it's Piper's turn, and let's think about the note he has on this card. I clued it 3, so technically it could obviously be green. But there's also a small chance, I would say, that it's red. It could be a red 3, right? Now, I do not recommend this in most situations, but we do like to play a little fiery and spicy. So we have this fun convention called explosive redistribution. What the heck is that? Well, Piper thinks to himself, okay, this is probably green 3. In fact, there's even a world in which it's like pink 1, right? But worst case, right, the only bad thing that would happen if he plays this 3 is if it actually turns out to be red, which is possible, right? But he realizes he actually sees the other red 3. So worst case, if he plays this and it bombs, I mean, yeah, it's not great. But we trust that he would only do that if he actually sees the other copy. So Piano Blue in this case, I would write immediate elimination notes for red 3. So yeah, it's a bomb, and bombing is really bad. Not only is it a strike, but I think actually more relevant is that it uses a clue, right? If you strike a card instead of discarding it, it means later in the game you're going to have one less clue than you could have, right? Which can be very relevant in like low-paced games like that. So all that is to say, it is not without risk to bomb this card early, but I actually love it here because there's a big benefit, and here's the benefit. By playing it as green 3, suddenly this is a priority finesse, right? Because he shouldn't be playing this 3, even if he knew it was green 3, right? Because there's red 2 waiting for it. Even if there wasn't red 2, you're supposed to play 1. So playing this 3 immediately proves to me that I should blind play. And sure enough, it is green 4, which is really cool because now we've basically finished the green suit. It's kind of weird before any other cards have been played. And sure enough, the other kind of funny thing, I think by playing this, even though it is green 3 and not red 3, I think I still have red 3 notes. He would never do that if I didn't have red 3. So weirdly enough, I could imagine a world where this doesn't even have to be clued. But whatever. Better safe than sorry. See, we do play it safe sometimes too. All right, so 1 plays. 1 plays. Excellent. And now, okay. Stuff is getting exciting. Kimby does a follow-up. It's my turn. My hand is quite loaded up, so ideally I could find a way to redistribute. And sure enough, Piper's red 3 is actually sitting here. So actually right now I could Gentleman's. And frankly that would be pretty darn good, right? Now Kimby can play this, and Piper will blind play. But here's the problem with that. We still have this yellow 2 stranded here, and I would really love to get tempo on this yellow 2. So I concoct a weird plan. I decide, even though I could do a layered gentleman's discard now, I'd actually much rather get these 2 cards. So, for example, let's imagine this was like a brown 4 or something, not playable, right? I right away could discard this card to cause a blaze discard. Kimby would have to blind play to tell Piper that no, don't blind play this. The red 3 is actually here. As well, you can see there's a problem with this plan, right? Because now Piper might just discard. So obviously I can't do that right now. This is a really interesting turn, though. There's a lot of stuff I could do. The other thing I could do, right? Clue 5, like this. Well, since this looks like a save, it's the obvious save clue I'd give. That's actually telling Kimby she has to eject. And by ejecting, we call that a rank choice ejection. Piper would be like, what the heck's happening? Oh, this must be playable. Okay, one last problem. The problem with that is that could still be a red 5. So even though it would get the ejection, suddenly things are not actually that great, right? Because now things get a little weird. I don't have any good clue, so now suddenly I'm going to discard. Or use our last clue here. I don't know, it seems really squirrely, and suddenly Piper's hand might start becoming an issue. All that is to say, I choose to go a little against the raw efficiency idea of like getting these now. Since I already see a plan in the future to get these, I decide let's go maximum flexibility. Let's just give this direct play. And there's one other kind of nice benefit of that. Anytime, well, any clue like this, when a suit only has 1 card left, any other cards picked up in the process are known trash, which can lead to nice benefits, such as Piper discarding. So all of a sudden, this card becomes very, very interesting. Now, let's read my note. Turn 11, no chop move. If you remember, going back then, Piper did not chop move me. So, right off the bat, as soon as that happened, and I encourage you to do this, it's a very good practice to get into, a good habit. When a card is not chop moved, I really like to write NOCM. Just mark it somehow that it was not chop moved. Because right off the bat, I can basically guarantee that this is never going to be like a brown card. It's never going to be like a playable card. That's just weird. Okay, sorry, it could be playable. I'm sorry. It probably is not going to be a like one away, like a red 4, like a yellow 2. Okay, yellow 2 is a terrible example. Oh, right, pink. That's the suit. But anyway, point is, it's definitely not critical. It's probably not playable. Yeah, so basically, anytime a card is not chop moved and then chop moved later, you get a lot of information on it. In this case, I would argue, because Piper does have an unknown 3, well, it's not red, right? So he knows he has like a yellow or blue 3, right? So I highly doubt he would chop move a yellow or blue 3. So I discount the idea of a 3. I discount the idea of a 2 just from context. Like we said, it's not going to be a 5. It's not like blue 5 or any brown. So in fact, I think it has to be exactly blue 4 or yellow 4 if this is like yellow 5. So I think it's exactly a 4, which, I don't know, I always have a lot of fun with that sort of deduction making. All right, so now for some fun. As was my plan, I now do the gentleman's. And of course, Kimby now has to blaze discard, or else Piper will bomb this card. And what I hilariously forgot, just around this time of the year, we agreed, just because it's too good to pass up, we agreed to turn on Layered Blaze discards and Layered Shadow finesses. So what that is to say is, let's say this is yellow 2, this is trash. In the dream world, right, I discard this. Kimby does a blaze, and then Piper's like, oh sweet, it's a blaze, and he plays. Right? So that's the dream, and of course that's not red 3, so he will keep digging. Okay, so I discard. Kimby YOLO's thinks it is a layered gentleman's. Now Piper, he sees what I was intending. And he also sees what Kimby was intending, right? If she's bombing that, and yet I clearly wanted her to bomb this, well, he can rule out that it's here for sure, right? Because then Kimby would never bomb. And he would rule out that it's only here without a blaze, or without a layer, sorry, because then Kimby would bomb here. So, Piper, I love this. Piper skips ahead. Piper skips ahead and plays like a reverse unprompted blaze. I love it. So he plays this, which is nice because I get to play my 4. Kimby goes back for it. Kimby plays the 2, and Piper, brilliantly, plays this too. So even though we did get a bomb, this ended up being a 2 for 1, I guess you could say. 1 discard equals 2 plays. We get a clue back, but we also get a bomb, so it's very, very weird to evaluate. But I will say one thing it does definitely do, it banks us clues back in the short term, right? The problem with the bomb is that we could have prevented the bomb by playing our cards, right? But then we would have needed to use those clues to get these cards. So I doubt I'm explaining myself very well here, but this did a great job. This whole line we did, even with the bomb, got us back to being in really good shape in regards to tempo. The fact that now we have 2 clues banked, all these cards are gotten, play, means we're actually doing really, really well, in my opinion. Now all we need is the brown cards and pink cards to show up. All right, so let's see. Let's keep going. I'm chop move, so I discard. This is exciting. The classic double dark phenomenon of multiple playable cards showing up. Kimby gets them both by recluing this 5. So obviously, the 5 gets this to play as a quote-unquote finesse. It's a bluff. Piano Blue knows, obviously that was not a true finesse, but this 5 is more than 2 away, or 2 or more away, so I just play 2. In other words, this is just a tried and true method of getting 2 blind plays. All right, they keep on coming, and what do you think Kimby does? Yep, same clue. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is literally just a nice 2 for 1. And if not for that, it can actually be oftentimes pretty hard to get 2 unrelated cards to play. You need some anchor point to bluff them both. So whether that's trash or a double bluff. So that does great. All right, play. Now I know this is yellow 4. Actually, do I? It could be 2, actually. It could still be 2, because I was the one who initiated the yellow 2 play. But yeah, see my note. My note is YOLO 4. I think there's great context by now that Piper hasn't cared about this, so yeah. Okay, speaking of 4s, this clue I think is fine. I think if this was like a tournament game and we were in, or if we were in like worse shape, I actually doubt Kimby would clue this, because I think like we covered, right? The notes on this card are like exactly blue 4. I remember I was excited because I was thinking what might happen is discard, and then Piper could play this to priority finesse me, right? But I would play this card. So that would have been exciting, but no reason to get fancy. Yeah, our efficiency is really good, and the only thing we really need to do right now is get tempo. So I do like this clue. So, okay, play. And now finally pink 1 shows up. And now there's a glimmer of hope. We've done well in efficiency. We've done well in tempo and modulation, whatever. But sometimes double dark games will just kind of screw you if you don't draw a 1. So this was a huge relief. So now let's see how we finish it off. Well, this is like the best. This is just too good. So now it's just a matter of, clean it up. So I go with this clue. And feel free to pause. I don't know. Maybe there's something more clever I could do. I wanted to get tempo on these as quick as I could. It's very possible. Maybe this is good too, right? I could do pink, let Kimby get this, and then I can come back for these. But it's all a little wacky. I decided to go with this, and then we can get this anytime later. And the nice thing about this, well, we'll see what happens. Okay, we get a discard, we get a play, a blind play, tempo this out, and now I can just follow up with pink, right? They're in the nice order, everything's perfect. And now it's just GG from here, right? We don't need to get this until the very end. And actually, I think I've talked about this. If you haven't seen it, you can go watch my endgame double play video. Maybe I'll link it above somewhere up here or whatever. Like many months ago, there would be like this urge to clue this right away. But we've discovered, this was back in like the tournament season last year. We realized there's literally just no reason to ever directly clue a 5. Like, as long as you are still waiting for at least one other card to be drawn, just don't clue it. Just wait. So I just play, and inevitably the other 5's gonna show up somewhere, right? Like maybe I just drew it, and then Piper can push them both, or maybe there it is. Piper will draw it, and now I can push them both, right? So, all in all, GG all around. This was a really fun game, and of course, Kimby YOLOs this at the last turn. Hope you enjoyed. I just have a couple more of these left for now, but I think next up I'm going to switch over to more tutorial videos, so stay tuned.